Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is an exciting video. Well, I would say every video that I make is exciting, but anywho, we are doing my April reading wrap up today. And in the month of April, how many books did I read? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me double check my stats here on Goodreads. 8 books. 8 books. Granted, half of these books I did listen to on audiobook, and then the other half I did read on Kindle Unlimited. And so we're just going to go over these books, not in any particular order, I'd say. I guess let's start with the books that I physically read, and then we're going to hop into the books that I listened to on audiobook. That sounds like a good plan to me. So I've got my coffee. I hope you've got your coffee, your matcha, your tea, your whatever, and let's just get into the video. So starting off strong, the first 3 books of the month that I read was the Capone series. So I really don't want to explain too much about the second and third book because that would be spoiling. But the first book is about Erin, the female main character, and Capone, the male main character. And Erin, she kind of had a traumatic, it's not even kind of, she did have something very traumatic happen to her. She literally watched her parents be killed right in front of her eyes. And she also has this little baby brother. So after her parents were killed right in front of her eyes, her and her brother get moved to her aunt's house, and they start living with her. And her aunt also has a daughter, so her cousin, they're living within the same like apartment duplex type thing. um, so that was like right off the bat insane. So Erin and the cousin, I can't remember her name right now, but they're kind of close in age. They end up going to this barbecue, and they're chilling out at the barbecue. Erin kind of doesn't want to be there. She would rather like be working or hanging out with herself or doing whatever else than going to this barbecue, but she decides to go. So I forget it. And she's going to get a plate of food, and the guy serving the plates is acting crazy. And then all of a sudden, here come Capone talking about some, you need to chill out with all that. Give her the goddamn plate of food. And from then on, it's kind of like for him, it's love at first sight for him. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm about to make you my wife one day. He's saying that to Erin. And then it kind of just develops from there. Capone, he's like this, I'd say a kingpin. He runs the town. He's a drug dealer. He also has a brother, but the brother's in prison. The brother went to prison for a reason that I don't want to spoil. Um, and so Capone is like holding down the streets, holding down the family, holding down everything. And it's just really crazy. This book felt like watching Power. This whole series felt like the Power series. It was just so many things back to back, left and right, that was happening to these people. And it was like, bruh, what is going on? But as the book develops, you also see Capone wanting to love Erin and help Erin out in any way that she can and just be there for her as a support. And of course, she's very independent. She's raising her brother. She's working her city job, driving the bus. She's very easygoing. She's not into all that flashy stuff, and he's not that he is, but he's willing to take care of her because he's like super super rich. He's got all this money. He's got this fat mansion, and he falls harder for her. This is one of those books where he is falling really 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 hard for her. And there's also a lot of drama going around with like just like gang stuff, and there's shootouts, and there's people crossing people over. And the very first book ends on a wild very wild ending, and it makes you want to jump right into book 2. Right into book 2. And that's exactly what I did. And I read it, and it was insane. And then I hopped into book 3 and I read it, and it was insane. So the Capone series is really good. And there's also, it was 3 books, and then there's another 3 books about Capadonna. And Capadonna is Capone's brother who was in prison. So he gets his own separate 3 books story, which I haven't read yet, but it's on my list because I enjoyed Capone so much. And then Capone and Capadonna, they also have a sister. Her name is Capri, and she also has her own 3 books as well. And so it was just amazing. I'm gonna eat those up. So eventually, I will get to Capadonna and Capri, but I read Capone. Aaron and Capone. I love them down. I love that series so much. And if you want to go check out that series, it is on Kindle Unlimited, and that's exactly where I read it. And they also have Capadonna and Capri series is also on Kindle Unlimited, so you can just burn through all 9 of them books if you really want to. I was gonna jump right into Capadonna, but then I was like, let me take a break because I'm the type to start reading a series and just burn straight through it. But I want to take my time, so I read a few other books, and then I'll get back into that. So, anyways, the Capone series, I think I rated each one of those books 4 stars. Like, they kept you on your toes, kept you very much on your toes. It was very entertaining. And I just enjoyed it so freaking much. And I think that you would enjoy it too. Yeah. So let's move on to the next one. The next book that I read was also on Kindle Unlimited, and it's called Beautiful Broken Love. I think I probably have it still up here. I haven't touched my Kindle since I finished that book. Beautiful Broken Love by Shanora Williams. This book was so freaking good and so freaking sad at the same time. The female main character, her husband, tragically passes away from an illness. I think it was like some sort of spinal illness, and he literally like passes away in her arms, and it is so tragic. And so she's obviously dealing with a lot of grief, and about a year or so has gone by since her husband has passed away, and this guy comes into her life. He's like a basketball player. Actually, he's a basketball player that she invites to her company to like do an endorsement deal type of situation. But as soon as he comes into her office for the meeting, it's like love at first sight for him. It's another one of those, he's falling way, way, way harder for her before she starts falling for him. But for good reason. I mean, her husband did literally just pass away, and she's dealing with a lot of grief. But here comes this man, this NBA star, this ray of sunshine, trying to just be there and be a good support system for her while she's kind of still going through the motions. And it it's kind of interesting to see how he will try to make his move on her, but he's also like, wait, maybe I shouldn't do that because maybe she's not ready. And they really do build a friendship at first. They're talking on the phone, they're texting, they're well, after the whole endorsement deal thing situation is up and running and done, they turn their business relationship to a more casual, friendly relationship, and then it moves on to an actual romance. In the end, of course, because that's how all romances go, you should know that by the end of the book, of course they end up being together. But the book talks about grief a lot, and it's very real, and it's really sad. It was so sad at some points. And he also, the basketball player, he also dealt with a lot of his own trauma and griefs that he had as well. So it's like he was from his own grief story and just life, he was able to help her along as well and give her some insights and continue helping her. So they both kind of end up helping each other in the end. And then they love each other. So that book was really good. And if you are interested in that book, it is also on Kindle Unlimited. So you can go check it out as well. I would actually buy that book physically. I would even buy the Capone series physically and add it to the shelf. Because there's some books on Kindle Unlimited that are just so good that you're like, wow, I need that. And those books, they gave me those feelings. But I think I rated Beautiful Broken Love just 3 stars, which is kind of crazy. I think it at least deserves 4 stars, I think. Then the next couple books are now books that I listen to on audiobook. So the first one that I listened to on audiobook was Listen for the Lie, and that is by who? Amy something? Amy Tintera? I guess. Um, I'm trying to remember how that book went. I know it was about a girl who was accused of killing her best friend, and nobody knows, and she doesn't even know if she even killed her best friend, which is crazy because during the whole when the situation came about, um, or the scene of the crime, she was so traumatized that she freaking blocked it out of her memory, and she like literally cannot remember what happened that night. So all of a sudden this reporter comes into the town and he's interviewing people that knew her and the best friend. And he's like asking around town, like podcast style, sitting down with them and just getting insight into what their friendships were like, or who, or just asking about other people around the town who could have had like motive to potentially do something to them and all this stuff. It's just like this whole crime scene investigative podcast guy going around trying to figure out what happened to the girl. Did the what happened to the best friend? Did she actually kill her best friend? Um Honestly, I thought the book was just okay. Like it did what it needed to do. I listened to it when I was at work. So I mean, I thought it was just okay. And then it was fun to listen to because as you're listening to the podcaster interview the different people of the town to get their stories, that's kind of fun. And listening to, I'm like listening for the lie. I'm like, okay, who's lying? And then when you actually when you actually find out how it all happened and went down, I'm not gonna lie, the ending was actually pretty good. I thought the ending was good. Getting there was kind of, it was okay, steady. It was okay. But then once you find out how it actually happened, if she actually killed her friend or not, that was insane. That was insane. So I think I rated that book a 3 stars. Only because I knew after I finished it, listening to it, I knew I would probably forget it. I even probably rated it 2 stars. Not gonna even hold you. But I feel like if I would have read it, I would have gotten bored. But I think if you listen to the audiobook, it's entertaining because there's going to be the little interviews from the podcaster guy, and it literally sounds like a podcast in your ear. So that I feel like is what really kept me engaged with the story. Um, but it was interesting, and I think I rated it 3 or 2 stars. I cannot remember. So if you are interested in something like that, then I suggest you go pick it up as well, or listen to it, or read it, whichever you prefer. Okay, the last thing that I listened to in the month of April, which I thought was so good, was the Rose Hill series. 1, 2, and 3. All amazing. And I think there's a fourth one. I don't know if it's out yet or if it's coming out soon. But the Rose Hill series by Elsie Silver. Girl, I didn't know Elsie Silver was going to be that good. I didn't know those books were going to be as good as they were. I listened to all of them on audiobook and I enjoyed all of them so much that I was like, dang, I would actually buy these. And I would remember seeing like the covers of these books in like Target and just being like, I don't think I'm going to be into that. Little did I know I was definitely into that. Um, the first book is, who is it about? It's about this girl and this guy, of course. Uh, the girl, she's like living in New York. She's doing this big city job thing, and unfortunately, something happens at her corporate job that is very traumatic and makes her just want to reset and come back home. She goes back home to the small town, and goes to live with her brother, just to kind of reset. And then the mailman character, he is this super rich producer, music producer guy. He's opening up his record label in the town, and out of the blue, one day this girl shows up on his doorstep. This like teenage girl shows up on his doorstep and is like, "You're my dad." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, you're my dad." And it kind of kicks off from there. He's trying to navigate kind of taking care of his newfound daughter. I think she's like 16 or 15 or something like that, literally. And then also runs back into the female main character. They used to be like young friends ish, because the male was is best friends with her brother, and so she would just be tagging along because that's just how it usually goes. The whole time he's got a crushiana on her, and he's like, I can't have a crush on her, I can't have a crush on my best friend's sister, like that's crazy. But in the end, of course, they end up falling for each other, and it's a nice book. I really really enjoyed it, and I thought it was so, there was also so much tension between these two characters. It's like they both wanted to be with each other, but they weren't, neither of them wanted to cross that line. And there was so much tension, like nothing even happens, like no kissing, no nothing happens until like almost halfway, if not a little further into the book. And I was just like, that's what I'm talking about. That is tension in a story. And all three of these books, they're, I wouldn't say you have to read them. Well, maybe you do have to read them in order, but they're based in the city of Rose Hill, I think is the city. And they're all stories about single dad situation, and then a woman coming in and them falling for each other, and it's just great. It's great. It's great. I like the first one, which was called Wild Love, I believe. Yep, Wild Love. And then the next one was Wild Eyes, and that's actually about the girl from the first book, the sister, her brother. It's about her brother and some pop star who is in a very bad situation, and she wanted to come to this small town to kind of get some inspiration and be out of the public eye, be out of all of the drama of what it is of being a pop star. And then they end up falling for each other, and it's really cutesy and it's amazing. I loved it so much. And then the third one is Wild Side, and that one was kind of sad in the beginning. There was a lot of there was an unfortunate situation that happens with the female main character's sister in that one, and she ends up inheriting her sister's son, um, and taking care of him. What? And then the male main character is the male main character in that story was the sister who passed away's landlord. Yeah, it's kind of a sticky situation in that one. And I think I liked that one the most. I don't even know. I like them all. They were all so good and all had so much tension and romance and real life story and lesson. And I was like, dang, Elsie Silver, I didn't even know that you. I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't recognize your art. How good you were. So I will definitely be locking into any other books that she comes out with, because I thought she ate. I thought she ate so good, and I listened to each one of those books a day apart. I think, like literally, the first book on Wednesday, the next book on Thursday, and the next book I finished that on Friday, and it was, I had a time. I had a absolute amazing time. I swear it. I swear it. So this month of April was very romance heavy, and it was so romance heavy that I'm like over romance. Like I do not plan on reading a romance book in the month of May, if I'm being quite honest with you. I'm trying to go into some heavy hitters because I had a fun, fluffy month. It was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all those books, but I don't know why I read 8 romances besides the one thriller, Listen for the Lie. Man, that book was so a little forgettable. I forgot about it just a second ago. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video from me. And I hope you guys look forward to more videos from me in the future. And let me know if you've read any of the same books that I read last month, or if you plan on reading any of those books in the upcoming future. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a lovely day and look forward to videos from me in the future. So yeah, bye.